Putting on shoes and socks with one functioning arm and hand after a stroke can be really frustrating. So today I'm going to show you how to do just that in a way that helps you work smarter, not harder. So let's get into it. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and get started with socks today. Now, I have got two different types of socks. I have ankle socks, and I have got like my long, cozy, comfy winter socks to show you. Sometimes the longer the sock, it's a little bit harder to get on. So that's why I wanted to show you both of these today. Now, this side is going to be my affected side today. So I'm gonna show you two different positions that you can put your socks on. That's gonna make your life a little bit easier, I hope. Let's work smarter, not harder. So you can either do this, where you lift up your leg and cross it over your unaffected side. So if it'll stay propped up and you can work from this position, if you have enough flexibility, then work from this position. If not, we can modify this and sitting on a bed, a couch, what have you. If you can't cross your leg, prop your leg on top of the surface that you're sitting on. So you can still do it in this position and hopefully it's gonna give you a little bit more leverage. So I'll go ahead and show you the ankle sock in this position. So we're gonna grab our sock, find the opening, find the heel, make sure we're putting it on the right way first. And the best thing to do is start out and kind of get it over top of your big toe. Once you have it over the big toe, that can kind of hold it into place so you can drag it down over all of the rest of your toes. So you can see here, I've got it over the toes, and that's the hard part. And then you're just gonna pull it up and over the heel, and sock is on. Now to get it off, that's probably the easier part of this, is you can just take your unaffected hand, scoop it down over your heel, and pull it off. Now, for the other sock, I'll show you in the other position. So we'll turn this way. Whoop. And with your leg propped, your affected leg propped over your unaffected leg, we will take our other sock, our longer sock. The technique is gonna be the same here. You're gonna start it over your big toe. Once you have it there, you've got a little bit of leverage there holding it on, so you can pull it down over your other toes. And then from there, you can just pull it all the way down to the toe of the sock. And then once you've got it, just pull that little bundle up and over your heel and up as far as you like it. So, same method for taking the longer sock off. You can kind of start from the back. Easiest way to do it is scoop it down over the heel and then pull it off the toes. So that's how we do socks. One-handed, working smarter, not harder. Now, I will say some people may have questions about using a sock aid. You can use those, but I actually find using a sock aid more complicated and complex than trying to do it just with your unaffected hand. So, you know, if the sock aid works well for you, that's great. But just in my experience, I have found this method to be a little bit easier for most of the people that I have worked with. So that's why I wanted to share it with you today. All right, with that said, let's move on to shoes. Now you can see here, I have got 3 different shoes to show you today, and they're in order of increasing difficulty. So we're gonna get in the same position, either taking our affected leg and crossing it on our unaffected leg, or you can turn on bed, couch, wherever you're sitting, and just have your foot supported and propped on whatever you're sitting on. So I'll show you this way first. So I'm gonna start with the easiest shoe to put on, of course. If you don't have a lot of movement in your affected leg, sitting this way could be easier for you. Now, if you have a slip-on shoe, you may be able to have that on the floor and kind of shimmy yourself around to get your foot in the shoe if it's a slip-on. But I'll show you this way. This one's pretty easy. We're just sitting up, slip that shoe on, unaffected hand, and there you go. And then you can kind of drop your leg down and you're ready to go. So let's go ahead and we'll take this shoe off. Slip-on is off. Another shoe I have is a slip-on loafer, but we have a back on this shoe, which can maybe present a little bit more of a challenge. Like when we start our socks, we're gonna slip our shoe on over our toes first. So once it's on the toes, pull it up as far as it'll go. Take your fingers and you're gonna pull that up over the back, over your heel. Now, I will just note here, the tighter the shoe is, the harder it's likely going to be to get on. Whenever you're getting new shoes, order a half size up. That may make it easier to get your shoes on and off. Taking the shoe off, this part's the simpler part. Just slide it off. All right, so let's move on to the hardest shoe of the bunch, which is a tennis shoe. And you'll likely be wearing a tennis shoe a lot of the time. They've got good grip. If you have to wear an AFO, typically those are worn with tennis shoes. So that's why I really wanted to go over something, especially with shoelaces. I'm gonna show you how to tie shoes or tie shoelaces with one hand today. All right, we're gonna start the same way as with the other shoes. We're gonna pull the tongue up of the shoe and slide that over our toes. You wanna make sure that both of your laces are out first so they don't get stuck under your foot. And then pull that shoe up as far as it will go. We're going to shimmy, shimmy, shimmy that shoe back and forth until it pops over the back of our heel. Now I'm gonna get into a different position to show you how I tie these shoelaces one-handed. So I'm going to turn and face the camera here, pull that tongue up, get it into a better position. So to tie the shoelaces, we are going to take both of them on our hands and cross them. And we're going to pull and tuck one of those laces underneath our knot. We're gonna pull it through. And then to tighten this knot, you can either take your thumb and your index finger on one side and then pull to tighten it up. You can also come here and have your thumb on one side and then pull with your index and middle finger on the other. So that gets your knot a little bit tighter. From there, we are going to make a large loop, and you're gonna hold that, keep it in place, either with thumb and middle finger, with index and middle finger, but you wanna make sure you don't lose your loop. And then you're gonna take your other free-flowing lace here, tuck it around all the way, make a circle around that loop. And then once you've come all the way around, you're going to tuck it through the other loop here. So you can see it's not super duper tight. So I take my middle finger and my thumb and I pull it. And then from there you can individually pull it through. So that's how you get your basic shoe tied. And then of course, if you need to make a secondary knot, because this is not going to be quite as tight as if you were using both of your hands. So if you want to just make it stay a little bit tighter, make your loops a little bit bigger. If we're going to do a double knot here, hold both of your loops, and just like when we started how you cross the shoelaces, you're going to cross your loops So once you have your loops crossed, you're gonna take and tuck one of those loops just like we did with the first knot that we did. Then, just like before, you can take either your index, your middle, and your thumb and pull, and that will get your double knot tied. Now, if all of that just seems like too much work for you and you don't want to deal with it, you can think about something called elastic shoelaces. And if you went through inpatient rehab, they may have had these there or told you about them. But what's nice about these is you can lace up your shoes with the elastic shoelaces and they will actually stay tied. They will move as you work to put your shoes on and off, but you don't have to untie them. You can just leave them and they'll just stretch in and out of place as needed because they're elastic. So you have options if you feel like tying the shoes on a daily basis is just too much work. All right, everyone, that's it for today. Leave me a comment down below if there are techniques that you use to put on your shoes and socks that I didn't cover in this video. I'd love to hear what works for you. As always, I am leaving a link down in the description below to sign up for my email list, which gets you 3 free stroke recovery tips a week and motivational emails, as well as access to my free ebook, The Stroke Recovery Pocket Guide, if you need a little more support on your journey. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.